Avoiding God for too long is going to destroy your progress and destroy the rate of your self-development. And I know this because I spent 2.5 years fully focused on just trying to develop myself and dive deep into self-improvement. And I was doing all the right actions. I was taking everybody's advice. I wasn't using social media. I wasn't giving into vices like doing drugs and watching porn. I was meditating, going to the gym, doing all the right stuff, all that good stuff. But it always still felt as though I had this hole missing that actually was just needing to be filled. And it wasn't until I found God where that missing hole inside of me was actually filled. Pause. But in all seriousness, like when I did find God, that's really when everything changed for me. And that's when I was finally able to be consistent with, my good habits, like going to the gym and being consistent with counting my calories and my diet and in my work. And that's when everything finally started to click for me. And this feeling of missing something was finally gone. And I was finally able to feel full in my life. And when you're just chasing self-improvement, there is no clear goal and there's really no true vision. It's like you're spending all of your time just trying to improve. But when you break it down, it's like, what does that even mean? Like, is sitting in your room all day meditating and not going on social media, but just reading books, is that really like what we're chasing here? Is that improving? Like, am I really just gonna improve all day? Like, what does that even mean? And that is the point that I ended up getting to in my own head when I had this sense of just emptiness inside of me. I was doing the right actions, as I said. I was doing all the right things, but I just felt like something was missing. And God really closed that hole for me. And self-improvement, self-development is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a great thing. But if you don't have God, it's just all done in vanity. When you don't have a clear vision, it's all done in vanity. If you do not know exactly what it is that you want, we as humans just end up drifting along through life. And when I say drifting, what I mean is we don't have a clear intention and a clear focus. Not a lot of people have that. Most people are just drifting. And what that means is we go from one day to another, right? We just wake up and we already have a set schedule, like we're going to school or we're going to work, and then we get home and we don't know what we're going to eat for the day, so we just, get fast food, or maybe we do cook something, but it's just random ingredients in the fridge, and then we click on YouTube and just watch whatever video pops up, and we're just kind of experiencing life and just living our life based off of outside circumstances. Versus the other side, when you actually have a clear intention and a clear goal and a clear mission in mind, it's so beautiful, because what you're then able to do is align each and every part of your life to that one goal and that one mission. Like, if you know exactly what it is you want to do, you're able to structure your entire day and your entire life towards a singular purpose that will fulfill you. You're able to wake up at a time that's gonna, push you towards that goal. You're able to, structure your day in a way that's gonna push you towards that. You know what foods you're gonna eat the day before. You know what clothes you're gonna wear. You know what time you're gonna go to the gym. You know what actions you're gonna take. And when you have all those things set in place in a bulletproof structure, then it's so hard to fail. It's so hard to fail. And when you are doing things in that way, it's amazing because it is fulfilling. And if you have a clear goal, it is fulfilling. What's not fulfilling is trying to improve just generally and be on self-improvement when you don't have an actual vision of what you're trying to achieve. And I'm not saying a broad vision like, oh, I want to be like James Bond, but a clear vision of the life you want to live. And that's what I feel like a lot of people are missing. And the second point of this too, of how self-improvement and self-development can slow your progress without having God, is that when we follow God and when we follow Jesus, we have a clear idol of who we need to look up to and who we need to be like. As a Christian, my aim is to be Christ-like. I want to be as close to Jesus as I possibly can. I want to walk and follow in his footsteps. That's my goal. That's who I look up to. And the mistake that I've made in the past is I used to follow this big YouTuber named Hamza Ahmed, and he was the biggest self-improvement YouTuber at that time, and he probably still is now. I haven't seen him in a while, but he was constantly telling me good things that helped me, but then he was switching it up. So he would say, do this thing and do that, and I would do it and I would feel good. But then he would say to do this, and I would do what he said that time, but I wouldn't feel as good. And then I would be like, wait, I thought he said this and then that, and then I was all over the place and I felt lost. And I felt like I couldn't even think for myself. This is what I realized. I realized I wasn't even thinking for myself. I was just blindly taking the advice of a man who didn't know what it was he was trying to do either. I was blindly taking the advice from a man. As a men, we change our beliefs all the time. We fail all the time. Why would I take advice from a man and follow in a man's footsteps when instead I could take advice from the Son of Man, from God, from Jesus? Because when we want to idolize people, and the only person we should idolize is God, we should have no idols except for Jesus Christ. When we idolize other people and try to be like them, that can lead us into sin, and it can lead us into, failing, and it can lead us into feeling lost, as it did for me. Like, I was listening to, people like Andrew Tate and Hamza all the time, and a lot of their advice was good and did benefit me, but then they would say things that just didn't align with me, and I would still try to do them anyway. But then they would switch up their views, and I would feel like I was getting pulled in so many different directions. And finding God and finding Jesus allowed me to find a God, right? Finding God, but a figure to look up to that was steady, and that everything just clicked and it just made sense. And those of you who are watching this video who do follow Christ, which I assume a lot of you do, you will know that when you do walk in Christ's footsteps to the best of your ability, that everything just kind of makes sense. And everything just finally starts to click. You don't feel that overwhelming, dark, stormy cloud constantly destroying and altering your state of being and your judgment, and giving you this sense of uncertainty. You will finally start to feel clarity. You will finally start to realize what the mission is and what the goal is. The goal is to do and to follow. Do as Christ does and to follow Christ. That's the goal. The goal isn't to improve, self-improve all day, whatever that means. The goal isn't to be like Andrew Tate or to be like Hamza Ahmed or to be like anybody you see online. That's not the goal. Well, how can we look up to a man? The only person we can look up to, God. And the goal is to be as Jesus Christ was. And that's how I live my life. And even if you're not a religious person, let's assume for a second, and I am a religious person, as you guys know, I've made that clear, but let's just assume that Christ is a fictional character. Let's just assume didn't even exist. Let's just assume that for a second. Just play this game with me. If we assume that, even if you're an atheist and that's what you believe, he's still depicted in the Bible as the perfect man who's done zero wrong. And again, whether you're an atheist or not, the wisdom in the Gospels and the wisdom throughout the entire Bible and Proverbs especially is insane. It's been around for thousands of years, and the wisdom in the Bible, you cannot find it anywhere else. Even if you're an atheist and you're seeking wisdom, I just urge you to read the Gospel and to read the Bible, because the wisdom in it is boundless. It'll be there forever, and you cannot find it anywhere else. And the things you can learn from the Bible are just tremendous. But going back to what I was saying about this hypothetical scenarios of Jesus being a fictional character, even if he was, which he's not, you should still follow him anyway, because he's depicted as the perfect man and we get a clear roadmap. Just read the first 10 chapters of Matthew and you'll get a crystal clear roadmap of the life you need to live to be the most fulfilled. And if you don't believe it, just try it for 30 days and see how your life changes. Because when I first read Matthew and read the gospel, my life completely changed. And I've been able to follow, to the best of my abilities, these teachings. And what it's made me realize is that's how I need to live my life. That's how we need to be living our lives, is not following some person online, but rather following God and following Jesus. So if you feel lost, that's what you need to do. And if you're trying to improve yourself to the best of your abilities and to pursue self-development, because I understand that. That's me. Like, that's who I was, and that's who I still am. I am a person who's on a journey of developing my mind, my physique, my faith to the uppermost extremes. That's what I care about. I care about becoming the best version of myself. And through doing that, it's brought me closer to God, because there is no human being who we can look up to. There's no human being who can even touch the smallest speck of dust that Jesus Christ lets off of himself. There's not a single human being alive who can do that. And if you're pursuing self-development and self-improvement, as I was, the best figure to look up to is, of course, Christ. So if you want to make speedy progress, and you want to excel yourself, and you want to be the best version of yourself, again, even if hypothetically the Lord doesn't exist, why not look up to a entity that is the ultimate good, that is the ultimate love of this universe? Because if you do that, there's no one else you could ever look up to that's better than that, right? So if you do that, it's going to push you even further. It's going to excel you even further. And that's how Christ has played a role in my life. And that's why I believe it's so important to have a relationship with him, and to master your mind, to master your body, and to master your faith. And when I say master your faith, I mean be disciplined in your faith. Like, read the Bible every single day. Or pray every single day. I think we should all do that. And the other point I want to make real quick is, I believe, this is my personal belief, is that God doesn't want us to be here just to read the Bible and sit in our rooms all day. He wants us to read the word and understand it deeply and hold it deeply in our hearts, but to go out and live and to actually show that to the world. And it is my personal belief that a key tenet of that is getting into amazing physical shape. Because when you transform, and also getting into amazing physical shape because of the effect it has on your mind, but when you transform from somebody who's not in good shape and who's undisciplined in their mind and undisciplined in their faith, when you transform your body, you will also transform your mind, and you will transform your ability to be disciplined in your faith, which will not only bring you closer to God, but when other people see this amazing person you've become, this person that's grown from all the way over here to transforming, they will wonder, how has John, how has Jack, how has Rocco made such a big change in his life? And then you will tell them, it's because I'm a follower of Christ. And that's going to bring people to the Lord. And that's why I believe it's so important to the Christians who are out there in the Western world, especially, because there are few of us, a very few amount of like real Christians who actually are staying true to the teachings of the Bible. It's so important for us to not just hermit away and just read the Bible by ourselves and sit in our room all day and just be in our room. It's important for us to learn and to grow and to struggle. I would even dare to say it is your duty to go out and to become the best version of yourself so that you can spread the act, the discipline, the love that God has put inside of you, and you can spread that to other people. I would even say that is your duty. It's your duty to get in the best physical shape you possibly can, to master your mind to the absolute best of your ability you can, to become so disciplined in your faith that you don't miss a single day of spending time with God. I would say that is your duty. Why? Of course, you can live the best life possible, but so much more than that, so you can serve God to the best of your ability, but also so you can bring more people to the Lord. And I think it is so important that Christians do this. We need to be outspoken in our faith, and we need to show it. We need to show it through ourselves, not just in private and not just saying a few things here and there, but to let it glow off of our skin. People need to see you and know you are a follower of Christ. That is the goal. That's the vision I have in mind. And that's what I believe, my personal belief, that as a Christian, we need to be aiming to do that. I think it's so important. So important. And if you're on a path of self-development and improving yourself, the best way to jumpstart ahead and to really pursue something worth pursuing is to find Jesus and chase after him and hold him close to your heart, because he's there for you. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again very soon, of course. Have a blessed day. Take care and peace.